podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
We arranged a meeting in Times Square. We found Rachel Elizabeth Dare in front of the Marriott Marquis, and she was completely painted gold. I mean, her face, her hair, her clothes, everything. She looked like she'd been touched by King Midas. She was standing like a statue with 5 other kids, all painted metallic: copper, bronze, silver. They were frozen in different poses while tourists hustled past or stopped to stare. Some passers-by threw money at the tarp on the sidewalk. The sign at Rachel's feet said, "Urban Art for Kids. Donations appreciated."
Welcome to Of the Eldest Gods, where we discuss Rick Riordan's role as our godly parent.
I am Raye from Cabin 12.
And I'm Charlie from Cabin 13.
And I'm Jacqueline from Cabin 10.
And I'm Jane from Cabin 9.
I love this struggle. This is so good. Welcome, new friends.
Hello.
How are y'all doing today?
Doing good. I'm excited to get a chance to come on, talk about some chapters.
Have you been on another Percy Jackson podcast yet? I don't know if you have.
I think this might be our big debut, unless we forgot about one.
Ooh.
We haven't. We have not.
Amazing. Wow. Unwise Girls is here. They're queer. We stand.
We're a solitary duo who have come out just for this.
I love it. Well, since y'all are new to the podcast, I would love it if you could both, introduce yourselves, a little bit about you, your pronouns, and how you got into this series. I know y'all have some interesting stories there. Whoever wants to go first.
I guess I can go first. Sorry, Jane. I'm taking it from you. Hi, I'm Jacqueline. She, her pronouns. I'm a dishwasher, but in my night, I put on my little mask, and I become a podcaster as well. And I got into these books via seeing them in my school library. I think I got assigned The Lightning Thief for a class at some point in middle school.
Ooh.
And then I was like, or maybe I think I'd already read it by that point. So I was like, this is easy. And then I was like, I'll just keep reading it. And then I did until Heroes of Olympus, and then late Heroes of Olympus, and I stopped.
It happens. Sometimes you fall out of it.
Yeah.
Jane, hello.
Hi, I'm Jane. Also, she, her pronouns. I also have my normal identity as an English student before doing my secret identity of dumb podcaster. I also got into these books by seeing them in the school library. I have less of a history with them than Jacqueline does, because the UK covers for the Heroes of Olympus books are really bad and don't lay out what the reading order is. So I literally couldn't figure out what one I was supposed to read next, so I just tapped out after the 5th Percy Jackson one.
Wow. Amazing. And now y'all are reading those right now on Unwise Girls.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I can't wait till we get to where you are in 10 years.
Godspeed.
Wishing you the best.
It'll take us so long, chapter by chapter.
These books get to be 72 chapters. I am asking you, are you sure?
I feel like we'll at least have to do 2 chapters, because there's multiple perspectives in there in Heroes. So all right. So, right, what happened in this specific chapter?
Oh, you would like to know what happened in this Percy Jackson book that we were supposed to read?
Possibly. I think that's what we're here for.
Okay. Well, I guess if you insist. So in this chapter, this is the one where they hire a new guide.
Wow.
A solid chapter title, not clickbait. That actually happens. No, well, not really. They don't pay her anything. But so, Percy crashes his own funeral. He tells Annabeth and Chiron about his cool new plan to navigate the labyrinth, but continues to be coy about it for the rest of the chapter, even though we've probably already figured it out. He spends a little time with good dog Mrs. O'Leary, who has been abandoned by her no-good betraying master. Percy has a dream about Minos getting fucking owned, and then Daedalus escapes into the labyrinth, presumably forever. And then he has another dream, again, about Luke, and he's looking in through the labyrinth for the thread still, and also for an arena, I guess. And he runs into a lone half-blood who is totally Nico. Percy goes and lets his mom know that he's not dead, which is cool of him. And then they go to pick up the coolest girl in the fucking world, Rachel Elizabeth Dare.
Our favorite manic pixie dream girl.
Rachel is real, okay? Like, you know, I've been joking
real.
about that this whole book, but I was reading this and I was like, fuck yeah, Rachel. I believe in her. She's legit. Like,
I know you're a simp for Rachel.
that's my girl
goodness.
there.
I know.
It's so strange that this book was published in, like, 2008, because Rachel feels like ripped straight off Tumblr.
Yeah, for real.
She's wonderful, she's beauty, she's grace, she will absolutely punch you in the face. Before we get into all of this goodness about Rachel and Percy's funeral, let's go with our myth context section, in case you mythed it. But alright, we gotta talk about this little story, this little dream that Percy has about Daedalus. I love that this happens. And Minos gets his freaking comeuppance. So, like, this does happen in myth.
Yeah, it seems too, like, specific to not be actual myth content. You know, it's very, like, that is some shit that would happen. Some guy gets murdered in the bath.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love it. We finally have the iconic someone gets murdered in the bathtub that we were teased in Lightning Thief. Yeah, we all died in a bathtub. All
God.
It's a big bathtub.
Amazing. He plotted it out. Rick Riordan's mind, truly.
Absolutely. So yeah, King Cocalus? I'm sorry, Greece.
Seems right.
Pronounce words.
It sounds like a dirty word. I don't even want to try to say it.
Cocalus?
I'm like,
I think we should pronounce it Cocalus. We should just commit to a bit.
Like,
Cloaca. King Cloaca. Oh my god. So this King Cock,
God.
yeah, Daedalus arrives in Sicily, I guess, and he's welcomed by this king dude. He's there. But of course Minos has been searching for Daedalus, like traveling, trying to find this guy, wants to murder him for all the shit that he pulled.
Minos seems unreasonably mad about this whole thing. Like, he's going pretty far for this whole revenge plot.
I mean, does he? I feel like he might blame Minos for, like, the whole Minotaur existing thing, even though that's his own fucking fault. But you know, Daedalus did make the fursuit, so it has to make it fuck the bull.
That is true.
It's it happened. But Minos is like, hey, I'm gonna offer this challenge, only Daedalus is gonna do it. Of course. Who can get a string through a seashell? Who can do it? Only Daedalus, because he's smarty pants. And of course he does it, even though he's supposed to be in hiding. Dude, you're in hiding.
You simply can't keep a 500 IQ individual like him down.
He even knew it was a trap. He's just like, I literally physically cannot help myself.
Feminist king.
Yeah.
The masculine
absolutely.
urge to make an ant crawl through a shell.
Yeah, and he literally did do it with the ant through the shell, drop of honey at the end. Word for word, Rick got it.
Yeah, well, that's classic.
He's reading the same Wikipedia page as we are.
Yeah. But Rick also literally got the whole thing where Minos was murdered in a bathtub. Because, okay, yeah, of course, you convince the man, it's fine, we'll just relax a little bit, you're my guest, come on, come to the bath first. And then, okay, I'm swapping over to the Daedalus page because the Cocalus page doesn't have enough information here, but yeah, it does say that either King Cock's daughters killed Minos, by pouring boiling water on him.
Oh.
Ouch.
Ow. Or the king himself killed Minos. Or Daedalus.
The implication does seem to be that King Cock was, like, in on it in the mythology.
Yeah, it does.
Which is not what Rick went for.
Yeah.
Very well. I'll consider it a group effort.
Yeah. Rick was just like, no, this guy's gonna be nice. It's gonna be the feminist version where it's the girls doing it.
Yeah. Because it's interesting, in the scene with, like, King Cock, it sort of almost becomes like a very political, like, there's threats of war, and there's, like, it really goes into a mode that, like, PJO doesn't usually sit in.
Yeah.
But then it kind of, I think it gets a bit more to the tone when we get to the bathtub scene itself.
Nothing more feminist than drowning a man in the bathtub.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Girl
I
power.
love that. Absolutely. Girl power. Speaking of girl power, well, that's all of that myth. That's all of it. Let's talk about Ariadne. I just need to complain about Rick being like, oh yeah, she's immortal, not a drop of godly blood in her. So her parents, they're not gods, but they are Minos, son of Zeus, and Pasiphae, daughter of Helios. She is the daughter of two demigods. She is not immortal.
Yeah, that definitely shakes out as still being a demigod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not to get too much into it, but by the standards that Rick establishes later, that definitely makes her a demigod.
Yeah, exactly.
In my opinion, it should be like in Dragon Ball Z, where, like, you know, the Saiyans are strong, but if you're a half Saiyan, that makes you even stronger. And if you're like a half
Ooh.
Saiyan, you get strong. You're 10 times as strong. I think that should be how it works here too.
That is interesting. I love that.
Yes.
So yeah, Ariadne, Cretan princess, known for the whole Theseus thing, which, fuck Theseus. I hate him with every fiber of my being. He sucks ass.
He's just a little guy.
He's ended so many of my Hades runs, fuck him.
Fuck Theseus. He abandoned this girl on an island, and there was also that time he kidnapped Helen of Troy when she was like 8 and tried
Not
to marry
cool.
her. He tried to marry an 8-year-old. He's cancelled.
Yeah.
So fucking cancelled.
Maybe this is why Sally named Percy after Perseus instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, Perseus is one of the better Greek heroes. Yes, he killed Medusa. We all love Medusa. But, like, he's just a himbo. He doesn't know what he's doing. Okay?
Your Honor,
Perseus.
my client was simply being a himbo.
Perseus did nothing wrong. Okay, we don't have, like, a full clear etymology here, but, like, maybe her name means most holy? Okay, sure. But it's a Minoan word. We don't fully know things.
Famous for their mysteries.
I mean, famous for their culture being
good
annihilated
mystery
by a
cults.
tsunami or something, right? Am I remembering this correctly?
I think that's true.
Oh yeah, we love a good mystery cult. And we also love a good goddess, you know, like she becomes a goddess later, because Dionysus saved her, and she becomes possibly the goddess of, like, labyrinths. It's very unclear.
Thanks, Mr. D.
I
thank you, Mr.
support
D.
it. Because literally here it says one of her epithets might have been Mistress of the Labyrinth.
That's a cool epithet.
That is a very
that
cool
kind of
epithet.
Slaps. Exactly. Is
That's
that not awesome?
That's some shit you'd see in, like, after a boss fight name.
God. Yo, imagine if, like, the Hades game was the original way they were gonna make it, where it was, like, you're just in the labyrinth, and actually Ariadne is the final boss.
That would have been sick.
Maybe that's what Hades 2 is.
You heard it here, folks. Hades 2. You're gonna have to fight Ariadne.
God, I wish.
I'd let her beat me. It's fine.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that, like, yeah, her symbols are, like, the thread and the string and all of that. Okay, do y'all know, like, the fun thing about, like, what the string is called in Greek? Do y'all know this fun factoid?
I don't think
I
I
do not
do.
know your factoid.
It's called a clue.
Oh, you did tell me this before. I think we talked about this once.
I love telling people this. It's very fun. Like,
In the
get
UK,
a clue.
it's Cluedo.
That's really good. I love finding out little things like that, just like various etymologies.
Exactly. Always fun, good stuff. I do find it interesting, though, so in Roman, because everything's not, like, fully equated the same way when we go to Roman stuff. Like, Dionysus is sometimes called Bacchus, or sometimes he's called Liber, and so Ariadne is sometimes Libera, it's just the feminine version. Or she's also equated with Proserpina.
Wait a second.
Yeah, that's Persephone.
It's simultaneously fascinating to think about these things in terms of like the quote unquote wrong way, which is like, how does this all fit into the canon of Greek mythology?
Right. There is no canon.
But also it's just like, it's so interesting just from like a historical perspective how these different figures get like put together, you know?
Yeah, that cultural drift, it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Time traveling to a convention in 200 AD to ask Homer how this all fits together in the canon.
One of my like theory is that just everyone is kind of Dionysus. Everyone is linked to Dionysus very specifically. Because literally Dionysus in a backhanded way is also like related to Hades and Persephone through our buddy Zagreus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's why Ariadne is also Persephone, I guess. It's all some weird stuff. But I guess you could say, like, if you want to equate, like, the labyrinth to the underworlds, that could also make sense, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there do seem to be at least some vibe similarities going on here.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's not as if there's, like, ghosts and children of Hades floating around in both of them.
No, not at all. Absolutely not. You're correct. Yeah, other than me saying that Theseus sucks for another hour.
Yeah, let's talk about Percy.
Yeah, let's talk about Percy Jackson, who makes me a lot happier.
There's a lot going on here.
There is a lot happening.
I don't know that it's like an incredibly long chapter, but it's packed.
It's dense. We have the most iconic scene, though. Like, so freaking iconic.
Of course.
God, if this isn't in the show, I think I would riot. If they get to this season and they don't have Percy walking in on his funeral, that's when you cancel the Disney Plus subscription.
There is literally nothing cooler you can do than get blown up by a volcano, be presumed dead, and then show up to your own funeral.
Yeah.
All good main characters do this.
The way he comes in is pretty majestic too. Like majestic, quote unquote. We have this like tired, like exhausted to fuck, like just had his heart broken, like killed a bunch of children, Percy Jackson. And
he killed the younglings. He was totally Anakin Skywalker. He killed all the younglings.
And he gets like, he's like lying on a raft like he's a fucking like Robin Williams in what that movie, and just like guided by cartoon great white sharks. I think that's that's so iconic also.
That is so good. Yeah, and then he's like, the camp is empty. Where is everyone? Oh, there's a fire? What's happening? And he just walks in on it. Okay, his best surviving friend is doing the honors.
It's a lot better of a burial shroud than the last one that the Ares camp made him.
Yeah.
It's nice of them to use like a nice one for his real funeral.
It's because people actually care about him this time. No one cared when he was 12-year-old, Peter Johnson. Who cares about that kid?
Yeah.
He sucks.
I also love that Annabeth is designated his best surviving friend.
Yeah.
I know that, like, that's really sweet, first of all, but I know that Grover isn't around right now, but it's really good to me that even, like, truly the hierarchy of friendship is established even by, like, Chiron. He knows what's up.
He knows that Grover is above all of the rest.
He thinks the Grove is dead, is what I'm taking from this.
Oh yeah, they all think that
He's just written them off.
Tyson are also dead. So, who knows
what
happened to
this
them.
also establishes that Percy has only been gone for 2 weeks, which I'm wondering, do we think that the island of Calypso has, like, time dilation, or was he just, like, literally just chilling for 2 weeks and, like, fell in love with some girl?
I mean, he's a teenager. I think he could fall madly in love in 2 weeks.
I think so,
It's
yeah.
true.
I mean, he had his little YA romance, It could have been for 2 weeks. But also, for some of that time, he was unconscious. So,
Exactly.
It's unclear. So Annabeth is like distraught and then mad, but also like sad. She's feeling all of the emotions, like so many emotions right now. She nearly kills him by hugging him. Yeah, and then Chiron just like drags them off. He's like, "We're not doing this here. The entire camp is here. Let's go."
He picks them up like kittens.
Adorable.
They are his little kittens.
I love this old horseman and his huge amount of strength. Just like he never displays it, but he can just pick up these two 15-year-olds by the scruffs of their neck and just to carry them. I love that.
Yeah, I love it.
Chiron is also playing favorites. He says that he's never been happier to see a camper return.
Absolutely.
How often do campers return?
Good point.
Never. Absolutely never. Percy's the first.
Yeah. Thalia never really left. Like, she was just here the whole time, so it didn't really count as a return.
She was just a tree. She was tree moding.
She also wasn't a camper yet.
True. Chiron doesn't care about her at all.
Yeah. Not at all. So Percy tells him everything, but he leaves out Calypso. He's like, "It was just an island. I was just lost. It's fine. Hephaestus told me that what I needed to know, and I knew everything all along, actually. I knew what I needed. Hera was right. They need just a mortal to lead them through the labyrinth."
He won't just come out and say it, though, this entire chapter.
They won't say who it is until we see her again. And
do you think that, like, having just gone through everything with Calypso, he's, like, a little bit, like, that can't help him being nervous about, like, seeing Annabeth and the bringing up, like, Rachel also.
Absolutely.
Percy's love life is a fucking car crash at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, last chapter I was like, Percy's in his hoe era right now. He's got 3 girls wanting his attention. He's doing great. Yeah, so Chiron's like, "Oh yes, this makes sense. Like, Ariadne helped Theseus, and then we also get this interesting line. Rick, what are you doing here?
Rick Riordan.
Harriet Tubman, daughter of Hermes. Why?"
You know, he said worse about other historical figures. I think this is probably pretty tame.
He said worse, but I really just the like absolute like ethical zero of like claiming people who were enslaved and taken from their homes as like, of course they also fall under the Western tradition. Like that, it's quite disgusting.
What is more Western than slavery?
Ooh.
I guess that's
honestly,
true.
Why couldn't Rick have just said that Harriet Tubman was a mortal who could see through the mist?
Yeah.
I feel like that would have made more sense here. Why does she have to be a daughter of Hermes? Like, why do you have to say that, oh no, she was only cool because she was a demigod? Like, no, she was cool because she was a cool person. How about that?
I think he just likes to say that famous historical figures were demigods, and he doesn't think about it any more than that.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Correct. It's correct. We still hate it. Yeah, so Annabeth will be mad forever about the fact that they need help. And it's her freaking quest, and she has to be upstaged.
Yeah.
She's being unreasonable, and it's because she's jealous, and I'm not vibing with her jealousy vibes.
Okay, but Percy's like, we've had two other girls besides Annabeth here. She knows where Percy's been because she can infer that it was Calypso's island. And now Percy's like, and now we got to get this other girl to go help us. She's just like, Percy, I want to spend like 2 minutes with you because I haven't seen you in a while. I thought you were dead. Can you please?
I was literally just mourning you at your funeral.
Can you please stop talking about these other girls? Come on.
Yeah. I really vibe with Annabeth's vibes here because I like the clarification from Chiron that she isn't that she's primarily jealous because of like her hangouts about like friendship as opposed to just like romantic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I just also really vibe with her mean girl, with her like fully embracing mean girl later.
Listen, Annabeth is petty, and we stand.
Yes.
Annabeth is clearly a nerd, and she's enjoying being able to be the bitchy girl for once.
Yes.
I'm happy for her.
I love it. Yeah, so they talk about Grover and Tyson and how they're probably either dead or like just trapped in the labyrinth. And Okay, Grover's searcher's license has been revoked. Terrible.
That's
awful.
so fucked up of them. They're like, he's dead, but let's shame him anyways.
Like, bro, he's probably dead in the labyrinth. Why are you doing this to him?
It's like the opposite of a posthumous promotion.
I guess the worst way you can fail at searching is dying in your search, so...
I think basically every searcher did that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so literally what is their problem with Grover? They're just mean for no reason.
they just hate that this boy exists. And he's beautiful. He's wonderful.
You gotta love Grover.
You gotta.
As of Sea of Monsters, Grover is the only person who has made any progress on this quest ever. So they really need to chill.
Literally. He's the reason he's the reason they no longer are killed by a Cyclops. Like,
exactly.
Every time they go out.
He's also the reason they don't all get killed by Medusa within like 5 minutes of setting off.
True.
Grover should be a hero to Satyr kind. It really makes me think, like, the Council of Cloven Elders, or whatever they're called, must, like, have some deep-seated political reasons to not want this quest to go forward. It makes me want, like, the 10-season, like, series that's just all about this council.
Let's get deep into satyr politics. Let's do it.
Unironically, I'd love that.
Oscar Isaac voice.
Maybe they'll go into it in the TV show. Who knows?
Listen, some of these books aren't that long, and you gotta pad out a 10-episode season.
Who cares if Athena's been cast already? Who has been cast as, like, Linnaeus and Silenus and Meron? I think I actually remembered all three of their names. I'm proud of myself.
I'm, like, really proud of you, Charlie.
Good work.
It's because we covered them on an episode. Okay. Also sad news. Chris is dying.
Because he lost the will to live. That's fucked up.
He has, like, woman disease. That's how women die in like stories from, like the 20s.
Also Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that is what happened to Padme. Huh.
I'm just imagining him on, like, a chaise lounge, just, like, he fainted. Oh, my God.
No.
That's
Clarisse
exactly
exchanging worried looks with the doctor, who's shaking his head.
Hey.
This is the drama we needed.
I will go again on record to say that I love Clarisse's character development so much. When Percy shows up at the funeral, she's just like, of course. Like, they're sort of friends now.
Yeah. She really opens up to it. Sorry, please.
No, yeah, she does open up to him. I was gonna say, they have a begrudging respect now. It's like, oh yeah, like, you're okay, but like, ugh.
Yeah.
The warriors' respect.
It's like a healthy rivalry.
Yeah.
We support. We love. But fucking Minos did this to Chris, and he's canceled. I hate him forever. So glad he dies later in this chapter.
I don't give a fuck about Chris, but it indirectly upset Clarisse, so yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Exactly. Clarisse is hurt. I'm hurt.
I really like Clarisse calling Chris a hero, that being directly pointed out that, like, Annabeth talks about Luke this way sometimes. And I really like the way that the lines are being blurred here, just between like the sides, like who's good, who's evil. I always appreciate that when that comes up.
Yes. And, like, that seems to be a running theme of this book, like, especially because just last chapter we were talking to Calypso, who is someone who sided with the Titans last war or whatever.
Yes.
I still want to know what she did. Why? She just sided with them. Why is she under house arrest? And worse, why does she have to fall in love with people to get her heart broken? Like, worst punishment out of all the Titans.
It's because the Fates are, like, so funny. There's no reason that Percy showed up at his own funeral except for that the Fates were like, this'll slap.
I don't know if Calypso's punishment is worse than being chopped into a million tiny pieces that are still conscious and being dropped into super hell.
I think it is. Personally, I think I'd rather be chopped into pieces than, like, be, like, a cottagecore lesbian stuck here with, like, men forced to fall in love with me.
Alright, well then you can go to super hell and I will chill. With her invisible servants. And
if I'm choosing to stay with Calypso, that's different. I don't want to be Calypso. That's
Fair.
the problem.
Do you think Kronos is also having this problem in Tartarus? Like, they'll occasionally drop someone in to fall in love with him and then get ripped away?
Just to add insult to injury.
book, actually, Percy was supposed to fall to Tartarus and fall in love with Kronos.
God! Do not!
Can I be honest? I think if I'm being just examining the Olympians as they act in the series, I think the reason they targeted her especially was because she was probably just one of the more vulnerable Titans. They could punish her, so they punished her as much as they could.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, you're so right.
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
But also fuck Quintus, because he left his dog behind. Not only is he probably a spy, and he left to go into the labyrinth to help Luke, but he left his dog.
And Percy's like, what the heck? He loves his puppy.
That's a good puppy. That is a giant fucking dog, and I love her.
When I'm carrying out espionage on behalf of a bunch of evil gods, I don't bring my dog with me. I leave him at home.
Right?
That's fair.
Gotta keep your puppy safe.
That's fair.
It's been a while since I've read this book. I feel like I remember the pacing of this whole Quintus thing is a bit weird.
Yeah.
It's weird because it never gives you a compelling reason to think that Quintus personally would be sympathetic with Kronos and Luke.
Yeah.
But, all signs point to him being that, and it's kind of a weird disconnect.
Yeah, but now that he's abandoned his dog, you do know that he is a true villain.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. True. We don't get to know a lot about him. It's interesting because Percy gets along with him really well, but everything about him is suspicious otherwise. Yeah.
And it's not as if Percy has some kind of history with getting along really well with agents of Kronos.
Exactly.
No, not at all. Hey. Yeah. So Clarisse just thinks that Daedalus is plain evil because he made the labyrinth, and the labyrinth is evil.
She's traumatized. She
valid. Is. And she needs a hug, even though she would beat me up if I gave her one.
Oh, definitely.
She would also beat Percy up if he gave her one, but I'd like him to anyways.
Yes.
He just walks into her fist, and that's it.
You're gonna have to tank a couple of blows to the head to do this, but it's for a worthy cause.
I love it. So we have this little dream, because always we gotta have the dreams.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Minos walks up to Cocalus, wants Daedalus because he knows he has him, but the girls are like, no, he's nice, he taught us, don't do that, Dad, why would you do that? We kind of already talked about
this. I liked this little descriptive move here. Yeah. When Minos walks into the room, he was so tall and serious, he made the other king look silly. I feel like that's really interesting. Just, this little political move.
Cocalus is silly. This is the dumbest motherfucker who has ever lived.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah, you didn't find anything suspicious about this?
It's not just that, it's Minos is if you refuse me, it's going to mean war with my island. But also, he came here with his island's entire treasury, so just kill him and keep the money, and if they want to declare war on you, what the fuck are they going to pay the soldiers with?
Yeah.
Literally just kill him and take over Crete. I think it's so easy.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to Game of Thrones.
Obviously he's busy with other shit, so...
Yeah. Well, so yeah, we talked about this, political shit where King Cock, is well, I guess I can't, go against you, but hospitality rules and all of that, I don't know what to do here. And yeah, his daughter, Elia, I'm gonna say, Elia, one of those. She's like, no, we're gonna draw him a bath and treat him like he's our guest before we hand over our other guest to him, and she fucking murders him.
I genuinely, both times I've read this chapter, I was absolutely certain that they were just going to hold him under the water and drown him.
Right? I kept waiting for them to just push him down.
Yeah, but they give him a painless death.
Right, it's very bloodless.
I want to know if who made this these cool things. Did Daedalus teach them how to make those?
I have to assume it's just a Daedalus invention. For those who haven't read along, they throw some little bronze beads into the bathwater, and then it makes threads that cover him. And then once he's completely covered, he just dissolves or something. He's just gone.
Yeah, it's real weird. I don't know. My brain was just ooh, maybe these smart women actually did it, because we have this whole speech. Daedalus believes that a woman is just as smart as a man. Hashtag feminism.
Which is also an interesting move, because we keep hearing from people that he's, like, evil, or, like, we hear from Hephaestus that, like, maybe he's not that bad. So, like, he's a very contradictory character.
Daedalus has an I'm with her bumper sticker on his wax wing.
I love it. Yeah, I mean, he'll kill children, but, like, women are smart.
But feminism, so...
That was a male child, so it was okay.
True. Yeah, so this bronze mummy thing is really creepy. But no, Minos is dead. And he's gonna haunt Daedalus forever. So where can he go?
Back into his own prison.
That's literally been growing, like, so far. The fact they're like, oh, there are secret passages in the castle? No, actually, it's the labyrinth. The labyrinth grew all the way to, like, where is this, Sicily?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, freaking crazy. Dream part 2. It's Luke.
Lots of double dreams this book.
Well, we gotta get the backstory dreams so we know all about Daedalus, and then we gotta get the Luke dreams because Luke and Percy are, like, soulmates, but not exactly the romantic kind, but maybe the romantic kind. It's unclear.
God. He's
The
like
secret
23
thing.
or some shit. Shut up.
Listen, Percy has a crush on Luke. I will die on that hill.
Percy
No,
definitely has a crush
I think
on
that's
Luke.
just true.
This Luke chapter made me think, I think this book would have been really interesting if like, we had a second perspective character and it was Luke. Like, we just got to see him running around confused in the labyrinth the whole book.
I would like a companion short story. I don't think I would want it, like, in the book, because it's so important that Luke's, like, mental state is a mystery to the
Yes.
audience and Percy.
That's
Definitely.
I do think, like, the way that the dreams are being deployed, like, you talk about a lot of double ones in this book, and, like, that's certainly something I remember from, like, back in these ones. I think having to use them so often to get across what other characters are doing does inform why the perspective goes beyond Percy a lot in the later books.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do a lot of work to make sure that Percy knows everything
Mhm.
so that the audience is, kept up to date.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my whole, sorry, I feel like I have to explain the whole, like, Percy and Luke are soulmates. This is my theory on, like, the whole, the gray hairs situation. Percy, Luke, and Annabeth are all, like, soulmates, not necessarily romantically, but they're linked. They're connected by fate, with their silvery hairs.
Mm-hmm.
Because they all held up the sky.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on this. Like, I hadn't thought about the specific connection, but I mean, I guess it is kind of just foregrounded there. But
Yeah.
like, they are, Percy and Luke especially are just like are put out so often as, like, Luke is Percy's foil, and that gives him a interest, like a compelling narrative position for which he will always be tied back to Percy.
I mean, we spent 20 minutes in a previous episode trying to come up with a mech AU for Percy Jackson, where Luke and Percy are, like, Shah and Amuro style rivals who are, like, bonded together.
I love it.
Love this. Percy and Annabeth are drift compatible.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, this Luke has found a lone half-blood wandering through the maze, and it's gotta be Nico, because there are no other half-bloods wandering through the maze.
As far as we know. But unaffiliated half-bloods, yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe
It
it's
could be a random
Quintus,
person.
who knows?
Could
he
be.
is a half-blood, right? This is canonical.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. What was I about to say? Oh, I thought it was really interesting, the little detail that the larger the group, the more likely you get lost in the labyrinth.
Is that why 4 of them kept getting lost? Maybe they have to go down to 3? Yeah.
We're down to there now,
I
so
was gonna say, I was like,
the fates are happy.
how many? Yeah, they're down to 3. Percy, Annabeth, and Rachel.
Elizabeth Dare.
Red. Her name is Red.
Red. What is Daedalus's, like, design intention here? Like, was he just, like, really emo when he thought about this and was like, I hate couples, I hate polycules, none of them travel in the labyrinth together.
I mean, it might have been because he needed to navigate on his own. He didn't want anyone sending an army after him. But also your thing, possibly.
I mean, we never hear about Icarus's mother, so, like, who knows? Who knows what Daedalus thinks about love in all of its forms? Why did we not think about what if Icarus is actually just like an automaton that he created?
That's interesting.
Damn.
Like he never actually had a relationship. He just like created a son.
He
I
didn't
feel
drown,
like
he just shorted out when he hit the water.
Oh
I think this is canon.
no! That actually makes me sadder. I love robots.
Well, maybe he was also made of clay, and so or wax, and he also just melted entirely when he got too close to the sun, not just the wax.
Oh damn! Poor boy. Don't make me cry about Icarus again. Okay. Now we have to cry about Sally Jackson, because we have to go see her and be very sad that Percy was gone for like 2 weeks. And she's like, I told them you were alright. I knew it was okay. Bro, you were word sick. We all know it.
I don't know, I think at this point, with everything she's been through, I think she can get the denial stage out to at least a few weeks.
Yeah.
This is fair.
It's gotta be hard to bet against Percy after all the shit that he has survived at this point.
Yeah. I love how she sums up the entire quest. You wrecked Alcatraz Island, made Mount St. Helens explode, and displaced 500,000 people. But at least you're safe.
Oh, she's such a mom.
Yeah.
It must be really hard for Sally to watch her son just become his father in a lot of ways. Like, she really does have 2 ocean boys in her life who just will leave her, and that is kind of what they do.
That makes me so sad.
At least Percy tries to come back as
True.
much as possible. Poseidon never came back because he's
Fucking deadbeat.
God.
Does that man even pay child support?
No,
I doubt
of
it.
course not.
maybe in sand dollars.
The child support was Medusa's head.
And Percy had to get that from him. He had to he had to do that himself.
God. Yeah, that was just Poseidon returning the thing. Yeah, so sadly Paul is not here. And also Paul has been having to cover for Percy this entire time. We forgot about it.
It's apparently not working that well.
I mean,
No.
Percy is a known national news domestic terrorist, and then is accused of blowing up this school. It must be a pretty difficult job for Paul.
Yeah.
He's
Everyone seemed to forget that he was a domestic terrorist for a while there.
God, yeah. Paul is a real one for even trying, though.
But it's pretty big that Percy also says that he would tell Paul the truth, even though he doesn't really think that he'd believe it. Like, that's a pretty big thing to do for his mom.
Yeah.
Well, Paul's been trying to help Percy out, and he makes Sally happy, so why not?
Yeah.
Why not ruin his life and tell him the gods are real?
To continue my pattern of just, pointing out details, they're having cookies during this scene, which I love.
Blue cookies, right?
Of course.
Because they're blue. It has to be blue every time. I think what could have been really cool here is the fact that it's pointed out that Sally can see through the mist again. What if she had been the one to lead them through the labyrinth, though?
It would honestly make almost more sense. It's very important that they clarify that she doesn't see as well as she used to, and that's why they need to go find a younger person.
Exactly.
Otherwise she would be the natural choice. Like, Sally is stone cold. She's killed a man.
She has.
Factually true.
Stone cold is a good choice of words there, Jane. I really do, and it plays into a lot of the classic magic. As you get older, you lose your sense of imagination, or and so this is one of the moments where Rick Riordan is definitely leaning on that a bit too.
I was thinking about that too, but I was also like, or maybe it's because she's getting older and her eyes aren't as good, literally.
Just literally eyesight.
If she had some glasses, they'd be all set, but she's misplaced them, so.
Could be a little bit of both.
How likely is it that Sally Jackson has insurance?
Oh, don't say that. Oh.
She is a struggling student at the moment, so probably not.
And she made a fair packet off of selling Smelly Gabe's corpse, right?
Oh, yeah. It's true.
This is fair. She made enough to pay for school, not to get insurance.
That's true. I guess Rachel does have insurance.
We'll talk about Rachel at some point and her financial situation. I mean, she's covered in gold, but like, is it paint or is it actual gold?
Yeah. Oh, here's a podcaster segue. Speaking of people who get covered in metal, connecting from fucking Minos to Rachel.
There we go.
You did it. Amazing. I do also love that Percy memorized her phone number.
Yes.
That has to
that's
have been
quite
like
the detail.
Annabeth was giving him just an absolute death stare over his shoulder while he was doing that, and he was trying not to make eye contact.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rachel is like standing there covered in gold, and there's a few other kids there too, all covered in like different metallic paints, and they're raising money for kids who want to do art.
There's street art. She's standing perfectly still.
I love it.
love this. I just, it's so good.
Sometimes you remember that Rick Riordan is a teacher.
Yeah, and he supports art in schools. I'm happy.
Rick Riordan has opinions about the public school system.
He does, and we
Yeah.
heard about it in the Sphinx chapter, where he hates standardized testing.
Based. Thanks, Rick.
Yeah. I think those were my favorite moments of the series, like when you can just like peel back the pull back the metaphor, like everything about like, oh, you know, how demigods are like used as a stand-in for like children who don't like fit in exactly into the standard schooling system, and just like get to like direct commentary on schools. He just gets to let it loose. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Rachel is finally done with her shift, and they all go and get coffee. And
Annabeth is so savage this whole time. While they're waiting for Rachel, she's like, maybe if we push her over.
do you always dress in gold?
My favorite, it was Rachel's like, oh, don't worry, I've been covering for you at school. I just played dumb, and Annabeth's like, was it hard?
My God, girl, there is no reason for this. You are asking someone for a favor.
Either I need to make this meme, or I'll have Robert do it for me. But like, I'm just picturing the Elwoods like it's hard. But that's what's happening right here with Annabeth and Rachel.
Did you all notice a different like meme that happens word for word in this chapter with Rachel?
What did I miss?
I don't know if you've all seen the meme of Jurassic Park where it's like the guy being like, hey everybody, like there's a famous Jurassic Park meme that's word for word the part where Rachel stands up and says like, hey everybody, these two aren't human, see, nobody cares.
Oh,
that's like,
yeah.
This guy's buying dinosaur eggs for the CIA.
I feel like I've seen this. Okay, that does sound familiar.
But yeah, they should have realized, like, no one cares that she's covered in gold paint. Like,
they're in
nobody's
fucking
gonna
New
give
York.
a shit.
They're
Yeah.
in New York City. Who gives a shit? We've all seen Spider-Verse, right? We've all seen that, where they're just like swinging as Spider-Men, and then they fall on the ground, and it's like, yeah, New York, no one cares.
You're in New York, you hear a bunch of people say that they're demigods, you get on the train, you see a rat as big as a car, and then you get mugged on the way home. It's just the normal experience. Nobody cares.
Exactly. Yeah, so they need Rachel's help. The fact that Rachel's like, you need my help? Like, you? What?
Okay, Annabeth is also, she's like, I don't want help from a mortal. Like, it's a slur. Like, Annabeth, can you chill?
God.
Do you think there must have been at some point at least one moment where Rick considered having like someone refer to it as the M word?
Oh God. He probably
I'm glad he
did,
suppressed
yeah.
that urge, but I genuinely believe that he thought about it.
Oh, I don't want to think about that. So yeah, they tell her it's gonna be dangerous, you could die, and we're just like, yeah, I'm in. I have nothing left to do with my summer. Like, I'll be bored otherwise.
I've got nothing to live for.
I love her. I love her. I love her. She's so fucking funny.
And then they're like, okay, so we gotta look for an entrance to the labyrinth, find a Greek Delta. And Rachel's like, oh, I've seen one of those. Like, right over there at the Marriott. Let's go. Literally, she knows What's up?
She's
Sees
amazing.
things.
I was thinking that, that seems, a little unrealistic. She is immortal, so maybe Rick's trying to make her, more useful so that, she endears herself to the audience. But, honestly, it does make sense, because she has fucking sight. So, why wouldn't she notice something like that? Out of everyone on the planet, she would be the person to notice a labyrinth entrance.
Definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't get over how she draws the symbol. It kind of, the book glides past it, because of course it does, but the sentence is, Rachel drew the symbol delta in water on our table. What are you doing are you spilling your glass onto the table?
That's what I'm picturing. That's exactly what I'm picturing.
I was figuring she just, stuck her finger in the glass, but, also, why would you even need to do that? Why wouldn't you just trace it? It's just a goddamn triangle.
The poor waitstaff.
Yeah, who knows what's happening here? But I think the most important thing in this chapter is our Chekhov's blue plastic hairbrush.
Mm-hmm.
That might be important at some point in the future.
It will be important for a weirdly long time.
It's important to the fandom, okay? That's all that matters. And that's the end of the chapter, folks. You did it.
Amazing.
Thank you guys so much for coming on and talking with us about this chapter.
Fuck yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah, where can the folks find you guys on the internet and Unwise Girls and all of that?
Well, Jane, you go ahead, you do it.
Yeah, you can find us on pretty much any social media platform, just at Unwise Girls. If you want to find the actual podcast, then obviously just type Unwise Girls into whatever thing you want to listen to us on.
And we're also part of the Moonshot Podcast Network, so they generously host us, and they have a lot of amazing shows too.
Great. We love the Podcast Network. Good shit. And last but not least, my dudes, what is some media that we have all been consuming that we want to share with the audience? Any good medias? Any good plugs? This is always the hardest part of the episode, actually.
Y'all might have talked about it on the show before. This is I don't know if you have or not, but it's possible because there's a Percy Jackson connection here to the TV show. Y'all know about Black Sails?
Oh yeah, I've heard about it.
I've heard great things about it, but I haven't seen any.
The Poseidon actor is on that. I know that.
Yeah, Black Sails is the greatest television show ever made. I'm not exaggerating. I'm rewatching it with Jane for our bonus show, and it's 4 seasons. It's not that long. It's incredibly well made. If you like pirates, if you like just amazing, really good politics, if you just like a show that has generally good worldviews, you'll like Black Sails.
Nice, awesome, love that.
I've always wanted to try it out.
Sorry,
I love pirates. No, go ahead. I just
more gay pirate shows. That's all that matters.
Speaking of gay shows, there we go. That's how I fabricate a connection to this.
Hell yeah.
I literally 2 hours ago watched the new episode of Mobile Suit Gundam: The Witch from Mercury.
Nice.
And my brain is on fire. I love that show so much. If you have not seen it, you should check it out. It's completely standalone. You don't need to know anything else about Gundam. It's so good. It's so good.
Good shit. Okay, my plug. Because the last thing I rewatched was Bluey, I'm continuing my Australian stuff, and I'm rewatching H2O Just Add Water right now.
Oh my gosh.
Because I have to. I always have to rewatch H2O. I love Ricky so much. That's all that matters to me, is Ricky being a bad girl. Yeah, thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you for your time. Raye, do you have anything, or is it going to be Homestuck again?
I was trying to think of something else, but to be honest, I don't do anything these days, apparently.
Besides reread Homestuck.
I've been reading Homestuck fan fiction, and it's been wonderful. That fandom. So speaking of that fandom, I guess that is what I will do. I'll recommend a musician who I was re-listening to some of their songs because, Homestuck fan music. But they have other shit also, and it's all very good. Kind of like folk music, indie stuff. That's PhemieC, who is really cool and lovely. And that's spelled PhemieC.
Oh, yes. I do like that person's music.
Yeah, it slaps. So.
Homestuck to Homestuck communication.
I was gonna say,
I've been reading so many fan fictions about Dave Strider. I'm sorry.
I know y'all covered like all of Homestuck on your bonus show.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Incredible.
Yes. we spent like 75 episodes doing it, I think.
Took us 2 years.
Shit, yeah.
I'm so proud of y'all.
Thank you.
I'm not
God,
in this fandom, but like, I'm happy for you. I think.
Jane, you were the new reader. Should this be a happy experience you did?
You know what? I am glad that I read it because it means that it has unlocked like a third of the things that queer people post about to me. As for the actual reading experience, I'll hold my tongue.
Oh no.
Homestuck does like attack you psychically.
Yes.
But like you just have to be the right kind of masochist to enjoy that. Hey, guys, we were talking about Clarisse and Percy being rivals. You think they'd make good Christmases or like...
I honestly don't think they would. I just... Oh, maybe. Oh, no, I have to think about this now.
I truly believe that
Yeah.
by book 5, they're more rails.
Oh, damn. Hot take.
Listen, they respect
Okay,
each
but
other.
are Percy and Grover Moirails? Okay.
Percy and Grover are Moirails for a while, and then yeah, I think they are. They have the connection, right?
Yeah, they literally have like a soul bond. Like, I'm
true.
so sorry to alienate you and half the audience, Charlie.
I'm just here along for the ride. I have no idea what's
Fucking
happening.
quadrants.
I won't go into this too in depth, but in our Discord server, one of our listeners has been going like into a huge like Half-Blood stock AU that they've created, and it's amazing.
Holy shit.
Oh no. Amazing.
Free us from this mortal coil,
I
Charlie.
really do need to free you. Well, I need you all to get out of my fucking cabin because I need to go like walk in on my funeral. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
they're having it. It's at
Baller.
the pavilion right now. Like, I need to go.
Oh, good luck.
Oh, we all have to go. Let's go, guys. Charlie's
I mean,
funeral.
we're all in here because we took the decision to skip it.
Wow,
Oh,
y'all
yeah.
are gonna skip my funeral? How dare you?
A huge thanks as always to our patron Matt. Couldn't do it without you, dude. You can follow this podcast socials at Of the Eldest Gods Pod on Instagram and Tumblr, and at Of the Eldest Gods on Twitter. You can send us an iris message through oftheeldestgodspod@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us financially, join us at patreon.com/oftheeldestgods. By becoming a patron, you can join the Deus Ex Media Discord server, where you'll be able to chat with us and other listeners about episodes and anything Percy Jackson related. Our $5 patron tier also gets you access to Against All Odds, our monthly bonus show. There, we'll talk about a wide variety of topics, which usually have something to do with mythology. No promises. You can check out our merch store on Redbubble to find custom designs made by Charlie. Or if you cannot or do not want to support us financially, we'd really appreciate a rating, a review, or letting your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can find me, Raye, at HeyHeyRaye, spelled R-A-Y-E, on Twitter. If you want to hear more from me, check out Barbie Movie Slap, a podcast where my co-host Ted and I discuss Barbie's cinematic universe. That podcast Twitter is at Barbie Slaps.
And you can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, but on Twitter I'm at GreenPixie123, which I'm totally not salty about. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws. I sometimes do the YouTube thing on my channel, Charlie Mac. That's M-A-C-K. Our music was written by Isabel Strauss-Riggs and recorded and edited by Ian M. Riggs. You can find Izzy at Kane_I, that's I as in the body part, on Instagram and Twitter. She also currently makes video essays on the YouTube channel Kane I. Feel free to message her about making music for your project or editing your podcast. Of the Eldest Gods is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like Super Scary, a love letter to superheroes, sci-fi, and horror movies, hosted by Josh.
Do you love to be super scared? Do you enjoy listening to hilarious hot takes on timeless classics? Well, fear not, listeners. I'm here. Welcome to the Super Scary Podcast, where we cover everything from the supernatural to the superpowered. I'm your host, Josh, a scaredy cat nerd who enjoys superhero, sci-fi, and horror movies way too much. Whether I'm processing my trauma from Texas Chainsaw Massacre or reminiscing on the nostalgia of Hocus Pocus, my guest and I have a hilarious time going through our favorite and sometimes not so favorite moments. I'm your friend till the end, listeners, because everyone's entitled to one super scary podcast. We post weekly episodes on Mondays, and you can find us at Super Scary Podcast on all the socials. See you in the afterlife, listeners.
Of the Eldest Gods is based on the series by Rick Riordan. Right now, we are discussing Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Remember to follow us on your favorite podcatcher and meet us back here every Thursday.
We gotta do at least 2 chapters.
Also, there are chapters that are
Right?
literally 3 pages long.
I know. I know
yeah. We'll figure it out when we get there.
I feel like there's like one chapter where it's just like someone going ah, and that's it. Am I wrong?
That seems true.
I feel like
I
that's
believe
correct.
it.
Deus Ex Media.